Hi, I'm Cecilia Shutters with the U.S. Green Building Council here at Greenbuild, New Orleans with Yianice Hernandez, Director of Green Communities for the Enterprise Community Partners. Hi, Yianice.
Hi there.
Thank you for being with us.
No, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.
So let's start and talk a little bit about your work over the last 10 years now on green communities.
Sure, and Green Communities is an initiative that was launched by Enterprise in 2004, so we are experiencing our celebratory 10-year anniversary, which actually took place last month, where we thought to think about how sustainability is really core and central to ensuring that affordable housing is preserved in a way that provides the highest level of quality. So interestingly enough, when we first launched our initiative, we focused on establishing a core framework that addressed not only energy and water efficiency, but improved and enhanced better indoor environments that address better health outcomes. So that's an area that we continue to focus on in the next iteration of the Green Communities work.
Great. And so tell us how LEED neighborhood development and LEED for homes, these products from USGBC, how does that work into your strategy and your vision?
Well, that's a really great question, because in 2004, when we launched our Green Communities program, it was at a time before LEED for Homes was developed in 2008. And interestingly enough, we worked with many core founders of USGBC to help us think through what's the right cost-effective framework in establishing particular elements that are achievable within the context of affordable housing. So USGBC and Enterprise have actually worked together over the course of the 10-year history with Green Communities.
So 10 years in, what do the next 10 years look like?
It's a really great question, and it comes at a time when Enterprise, as an organization with a 30-year history, has just released our latest strategic plan that really looks to address not only the housing quality, but the housing affordability as a real issue in this country. We know that housing insecurity continues to be an issue that many low-income and underserved communities deal with and grapple with on a daily basis. So how do we, as an organization, as well as an organization that looks to work with many partners across the U.S., to ensure that we're working collectively on this issue to not only address affordability, but also quality and connections to opportunity. So one of the new areas of Enterprise's work is really looking beyond the housing to the connections to education, to the connections of employment, as well as to the connections to health-related services that look to provide resources that enable better choices around health decisions. So access to healthy and nutritional food options. Where we know, unfortunately, that in many underserved communities, they have to deal with the existence of food deserts, as well as access to open space, which we know all too well, based on the research, that the closer that families live to parks, the less obese the children are. So that's a new area that Enterprise is focusing on.
Okay. So you served on a panel today, and what is your hope for what attendees will walk home with? What should they be thinking about, not just from your panel, but from Greenbuild in general?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's interesting because in planning the session, which was called the Healthy Housing Roundtable, we really wanted to encourage our attendees to think about what are the specific activities that I can walk away from this panel and apply to my day-to-day work activities. And interestingly enough, given the audience, which was a mix of both community development organizations and volunteers of USGBC chapter organizations, how do we bring those worlds together so that they can work on one collective agenda in our communities? So I think that's one piece that I wanted to impart for folks to think about what can they do on a daily basis to move the mission forward.
Okay. Well, thank you for spending some time with us today
thank you.
and serving on a panel, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Greenbuild.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is fun.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.